2023 barely started and we already have a ton of beaten ups announced for the course of this year. And to keep you all up to date with the latest release, I prepared a very complete list with all the games that I could find on my notes. And that's why in 2023 I need to be a more organized person, but I digress. The list already counts with 24 games, but I'm pretty sure that we will see way more games being announced until the middle of the year, not to mention that DLCs that I know are coming. 2022 was an amazing year and this one seems to be on the same track. Hi, I am Savino and this is The Flying Kick. Released last year for mobile devices, Maximus 2 is coming this week for Nintendo Switch and Steam, featuring 15 levels, 8 playable characters and up to 4 players in local or online co-op. The game will be out tomorrow with a new update coming next week for iOS and Android, and Switch and Steam getting it a little bit later. I won't spend too much time talking about this game here because you can check my review for this game right here. Last year we had the first click and point with beaten up mechanics ever. This year Games for Tutti will bring another experience offering the same mix of gameplay and storytelling. Here you will play as Rest, a member of an outlaw biker gang called, you guessed it, Scrap Riders. The game takes place in a dangerous wasteland in a post-apocalyptic world and, as expected, this is a place where you shoot, or beat in this case, first and ask questions later. But you will have to ask questions and gather clues talking to the right people if you want to survive in this place. The game is set to be released on the 9th of this month, but you can try a demo right now on Steam, link will be in the description, but if you prefer to wait, I will be reviewing this game as soon as I get my hands on it. Helvetti is a gorgeous looking character action game that mixes 2D combat and roguelike mechanics. You can choose one of the 3 characters available in the single player game to face the ever-changing rot. But you will not be bound to this character forever. Every level gives you the opportunity to change and pick the best character for that level. But if you fail, you will have to restart all over again. But you will be able to buy upgrades and, well, you already know how roguelikes work at this point, right? Helvetti will be out early next month, but we will have a review here on the channel pretty soon.
Ready for this?
Alright, this one needs a more detailed explanation. Knights of Braveland is a roguelike RPG with beaten up elements and a tabletop-like map and randomizing events. Are you following me? Because I am lost already. Choose your path, kill your enemies, help strangers that may or may not be enemies in disguise, and try your luck with bets and minigames. You can still buy and find weapons, armors and other upgrades during your adventures to become even stronger and, more important, change or improve your fighting style. Knights of Braveland will be out next month on the 9th for Steam, but you can check the demo right now, and guess where the link is. Brok was released last year in August for PC, and it's finally made its way to the consoles. The game features an amazing art style, great soundtrack and a story that we never saw anything like it in a game like this and in many other games, if I'm being honest. I won't talk too much about it here because you can check my review of this game right here, but trust me, this game is awesome and it's even better now with the combat update, which I regrettably didn't cover yet. The game is currently passing through certification process and should be available by the end of February or in the worst case scenario, March. You can play it right now on PC, there's even a free prologue to try on Steam or watch my review in the link below.
Our creator left us after making us.
We dedicate our lives so that humanity can progress.
At 4:38, the record indicates.
Who are you?
Good idea.
Don't wanna die.
But at the end of the road,
You've saved me. You're my hero.
there's hope. Raise your eyes to the sky.
In this Eldritch beat'em up, you will be playing as May or Bob, two exorcists that free people from demons, kicking the heck out of them. The game has a dark hand-draw art style that is very interesting to say the least, and the combat, while not complex, has a loop interesting enough to keep you engaged. Face demons and monsters and judge people by their faith in the abyssal gods, while trying to free the world from the grip of the evil Lord Crawford. If you wanna try the demo for yourself, you can download it on itch.io. Link will be in the description. Play as Sir Galgano Guidotti. Okay, I will stop with the Italian accent. A hero thirsts for revenge against some evil enemy who I don't know nothing about yet, but yeah, you will fight someone evil and that's good enough for me as story goes. What you need to check here is the combat that looks pretty powerful with sword swings and some good and nice kicks to the stomach. The game will have a pre-alpha test coming in March and the Kickstarter for the game will begin around the same time. This is a game that I have been following for quite some time and now we are almost there. The best way to explain this is telling you this is River City Girls, but dark. Actually, this game is more similar to the original River City Ransom. You play as a delinquent young girl that was just released from the prison after 1 year and a half locked up. You can fight for justice in Swinster City or join the crime syndicate and declare war on the law. Featuring a rich storyline, an amazing combat, deep characters and even relationships, Detained Too Good for School will be available on early access on Steam in March, but an update demo should be coming in the next couple of weeks. The follow-up to the legendary Franko, The Crazy Revenge, an Amiga beat'em up. Skinny and Franko will put you in the shoes of one of the titular characters while returning to Poland to rescue their old friend out of trouble. There isn't much of a story here, although the game presents some funny and dark dialogue between you and your enemies. But you won't be playing this for the story, you will play it for the tight combat, amazing animations and sheer brutal violence that will make you feel sorry for some enemies. The game will be released Q1 this year, but you can play a small demo right now, link in the description. Another roguelike beaten up for this year, Box Knight brings a nice aesthetic and funny and silly theme. Fight hordes of monsters inside your office after 5 PM and fight your way through different departments to free your workplace from the scourge that took place. Buy weapons, upgrade your character and prepare yourself for battle in this simple but very fun beaten up that will be coming to Steam at Q2 this year. But if you wanna check this fun adventure a little bit early, you can check the demo on Steam right now, the link will be where all the others links are.
Nothing I say can prepare you for the horrors that await. Monstrosity spawned from the withered souls of your most terrible and toxic co-workers. You will fall. But a true Box Knight gets back up. And with each death and rebirth, they get stronger. And we, the Council of Janitors, shall help you on this quest. But in the end, this is your fight. Don the cardboard mantle, take up the sword and the helmet, become our Box Knight. Let's hope you survive longer than the last one.
In this funny and charming beaten up, you will assume the role of one of 4 divas that went to the US to make a show and had their most beloved treasure stolen by an evil man. With an 8-bit aesthetics and lots of humor inspired by the great Tex Avery, the game will offer you 4 playable divas, 18 levels and alternative paths to take. The combat, while simple, is extremely rewarding, with comedic moves and weird enemies that will try to ruin your day. Dacin Divas come to Steam in the middle of this year. In Maiden Cops, you will be playing as a bunch of girls dressed as the most varied type of animals using the minimal amount of clothing and, for some reason, are also cops. The game has some great pixel art with detailed background and characters, although I'm kind on the fence about the character's design, but I'm old and grumpy. But the gameplay, which is in the end what really matters to me, looks extremely solid with a lot of cool moves, juggles and varied characters. The game will be out Q2 or Q1 this year, but you can try the demo on Steam right now. I will be covering this game, and not the girls, in more detail in the near future, so if you're interested, now you know where to check. In this futuristic horror single-player beat-em up, you play as Kid, a pizza boy extremely skilled in martial arts, and you will be helping him to save the world from the nefarious Manny Santos and his army of cloned creep creatures. Featuring amazing art style, a very dynamic combat and some of the creepiest enemies you ever see, Pizza Kid will haunt your PC later this year in December, but you can already try the demo of this game and kick some monsters in the face. Oh, and the developers are looking for a publisher, so if you happen to be one, the guy's contact will be in the description. Created by a single dev, Streets of Chaos pays homage to the classic beat-em ups with an added modern flavor. Help Franko and his friends to search for his brother around the world using a fantastic varied array of moves and weapons to end your enemy in the most creative ways possible. I have to say that I'm involved in this game, helping the dev to improve the combat and chasing some bugs, and trust me, we got a freaking winner here. This game has a lot going on for it and will only get better. Grabe 4x4 is a unique game. Created by a single dev from the Philippines, Grabe will offer the player one of the most innovative combats I ever see. Here, each one of your face buttons can create a basic front or back combo that you can mix and match almost freely. Why almost, you ask? Because your enemies know your moves, and they can block two of them randomly all the time. In Grabe, you have to think before acting, or your moves won't land, and you will quickly be crushed. This is another game that I'm helping with testing, so the footage you're watching is me playing the alpha version. This version still has no background music, and all the sounds you listen are placeholders. I will be taking a deep look at this game's combat pretty soon, so subscribe to the channel. Ronin's Run is an interesting game. You are Ronin, looking for revenge for the death of your master, and obviously your sword is your main way to, well, interact with the enemies. The game also has some light RPG elements where you can upgrade your character and unlock new and powerful moves. Among these moves are the finishers, brutal moves that not only are fun to perform but also give you bonuses like replenishing your health. The dev is aiming for a November release with console version coming next year. It has a very out-of-date demo available, link in the description, but an update one is coming pretty soon. I will have early access to this demo, so you all will soon be seeing more of it. Although not confirmed to be released this year, or even if it will be released at all, this game not only looks pretty good, but also comes from a dev that already proved that it's possible to have engaging dynamic combat and a very compelling story in a beat'em up. Fade Afternoon is from the same dev that created the Friends of Ringo Ishikawa, a great game with an existential story that I really appreciated. Fade Afternoon seems to be similar, but way bigger and with more advanced combat. Let's hope this game hit the promised platforms this year, because I'm really looking forward to it. Another game that was set to release last year but was delayed for this one, Buccaneers ShipShape, is a rare breed of beat'em ups, a pirate-themed one. I not do they are saying. While it's pretty fun to walk around beating baddies in concrete jungles or in old medieval times, being a pirate is not something that you see every day. The last beat'em up I remember having this theme was Skull and Crossbones? Back in the 90s? I don't know. Here, you can play with two different characters and you will be exploring a land filled with crazy and angry pirates wanting a piece of you. The game still doesn't have a fixed release date, but I will let you know as soon as I find something. Fallen City Brawl has been in development for quite some time, and it seems that this year will be the one. Here, you will be picking one of the 4 characters available and will run in Fallen City trying to regain control of the town. Inspired by the classes from the 8s and 90s, Fallen City Brawl will offer a brutal and varied combat, huge sprites, and a dark and gritty art style that's incredible to look at. The game will be available all around, as you probably saw on the card, but you can try a 2-level demos on Steam right now. In any case, the link for the current version will be down below. This one almost didn't make the cut. I talked about it in my last year's video, since the game was expected to be released in the end of 2022, but the game went missing in action and I couldn't get any answers from the devs. Until the day I noticed the date was changed on Steam to TBA. I'm unsure if this game will be released this year or even released at all, but it looks good and colorful and the combat doesn't look bad either. I will try to reach the devs again and I will bring more news in case I can get them. Another game that's quite hard to get some info. Giant Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch is a gorgeous beat'em up featuring the 2 famous potheads that I know very little about, to be honest. The combat looks pretty good with some nice combos and aerial combat, but the game is still TBA. A demo was shown at the last Comic Con, so I think we will be able to get a bit more information about it this year. At least we can say the game isn't being rushed, right? Following closely the steps of the classic Splatterhouse, House of Pain will offer you a dark and bloody setting filled with monsters and gore, like the good and old original game in the arcades. After escaping the prison, you are faced with a changed world where monsters roam the land, killing anyone in sight. Now you have to run and save your family from the nightmarish creatures that haunt the world. The game was set to be released in December last year, but sadly it was delayed to 2023. There's a demo on Steam if you want to check this one for yourself. But I warn you, this is a pretty old school game, so it won't be easy to beat. Link in description. Garuda Emblem feels a lot like a River City game. You have a school where everybody's a martial arts black belt, you have shops to buy items, upgrades to make, and every enemy defeated can be robbed by you because their wallets explode after a beating. But jokes aside, this game is really impressive. I made a video about it some time ago and the combat is incredibly solid with amazing combos to try. The variety of the enemies is also pretty good and the world seems huge and alive. The game is hand-drawn with thick outlines and a great art style. It's hard to judge a game only by the demo, but let me say that this one is highly anticipated by me. You can check the demo, I mean you must check the demo right now on itch.io, trust me. This one is great. Eight Dragons 1 was a pretty cool game that not many people paid attention to, and you all should feel ashamed because of this. While the game is kinda basic with simple but incredibly charming graphics and basic AI, the gameplay is extremely fun and rewarding after you master it. The sequel is following the same steps, but with better graphics and online multiplayer up to 8 players and local up to 4 players. The first one allows you to play locally with other 7 friends, but honestly, who has time to manage 7 real-life friends? I know I don't. Announced on the first day of the year, Last Beat 2 is the sequel to Last Beat Enhanced that I reviewed last year here on the channel, and I need to say that the game is pretty fun. There were some bugs in my review version, but I can assure that they were all patched out. There is still almost no information or even footage of the game, but the developer assured me that everything will be bigger, bolder and better. I will let you guys know the moment I have a bit more information about this one. The year already looks promising enough, and I didn't even talk about the DLC for Mayhem Brawler and Dawn of the Monsters. And there are rumors floating around that the Streets of Rage 4 also has an update in the works, and why not? We can dream about DLCs for Shredder's Revenge and River City Girls 2, right? And if for some reason you like what I do and want to help me a little bit, I open up a Patreon for the channel. You see, the channel is small and not every publisher or dev sends me keys to review, and this year I really want to focus on the channel bringing you guys a lot of content for old and new games, so any help you guys can give me will be greatly appreciated. I will be back this Friday with my top 5 games for 2022, and Saturday we will have some fun talking about Konami's Vendetta, one of my favorite arcade beat-em ups ever. A bunch of cool things are coming up, so subscribe and all that jazz. See you all pretty soon and... you know, right? Keep beating up.